If you are looking for one of the most hyped up but yet laughably underperforming games of all time, then look no further than Highguard. This is a story full of drama, and while not all of it is entirely the game's fault, it no doubt played a role in its own demise. I mean, with a name like Highguard, this should come as a surprise to no one. Here are the fallouts, bleeps, and blunders of Highguard. There is no denying that Highguard's announcement back in December last year did irreparable damage to the game's reputation. With all the clout that comes with an event the size and scale of the Game Awards, it no doubt cast all eyes on the game and literally put a target on its back. And certainly it did not help that Jeff Keighley swore up and down that this game was going to be something truly special. It was such a strange story because outside of the trailer, nothing else about the game was revealed. But having the prime time spot at the event all but sealed the deal about Highguard's fate. The backlash, the comparisons, and of course the memes were instant and damaging. And it was just a matter of time before everyone would sit and wait until the game's release to be proven right about their initial impressions and reactions. Now let me be clear here. Highguard is not a bad game. Furthermore, it's not even Concord 2. But it by no means is a fantastic game, and it most certainly is not anything near worth the accolades that it received at Jeff's event. And after release, it for damn sure became crystal clear to gamers that it did not deserve the spot it received, not even by a long shot. Mid is easily the perfect and appropriate word to sum up all the parts of Highguard, and to spread this message isn't mean a hate campaign or being misinformed opinions. It is a fair and constructive criticism of the game as it was presented on release. Now, I'm not even sure if misthemed is a word, but let me explain. Highguard's world building is completely off. Is it high fantasy? Then lean into that. Is it futuristic? Then promote that. Is it tribal or prehistoric? Then explore that. You get the idea here. The character designs are all over the place with no consideration for coherency at all. They look like the most unlikely ensemble of heroes that just do not fit together in the slightest. Like they came from completely different universes from completely different IPs. The animals or mounts feel out of place and could benefit from more imaginative designs that lean more into fantasy rather than real-life creatures like a flipping horse. And the weapons don't fare any better either. The designs and concepts need a serious overhaul and creative buff, and with plenty of games that have pushed the envelope for what makes for cool and fun weapons, there is no excuse to give players the rudimentary shotgun, sniper, and so on. Whether you're talking about the environment, the characters, the weapons, the mounts, or the entire core gameplay loop, Highguard feels like a mass of ideas thrown at a wall and couldn't quite figure out what would work, so the devs decided to add in everything. Not very smart. Now, this one goes under the radar, but gamers are tired of live service games, so unless you come out of the gate swinging for the fences, you're going to fall flat on your face. Because the one thing that gamers needed more of was a generic looter, raid-based defense hero first-person shooter to get their blood pumping, am I right? It is crazy to have held up games of noticeably higher quality like Titanfall and Apex Legends and wave that around as a badge of honor, to only then turn around and present gamers with mediocre musings. And this only served to make the eye of scrutiny looming over the game even more pronounced. Sure, some gamers were intrigued and maybe even hyped, but most were very wary and not very trusting, as what they were shown versus what was being said just wasn't adding up. Now, I respect going for the gusto via employing any means necessary to hype up your game, but using better games as a mechanism to promote your own only to reveal that it is of lesser quality was a nasty move. But ironically, it backfired. While Light Entertainment forgot to be the entertainer here, seeing that they strangely resorted to radio silence since the game's announcement. This was a misfire that backfired because I feel that they should have come out and defended their game and maybe even meme about the whole narratives being spun about it being Concord 2. The fact is that playing it off cool, calm and collected with a dose of some anecdotal humor would have done them huge favors and dispel some of the noise. But anything other than going mute. Like, are you not proud of your own game? Then come out and talk about it. Could you imagine if they promote a trailer and at some point it literally said not Concord 2? That would immediately earn them some cool points and humanize them. But the gamble to go dark was an ironic foreshadowing of what eventually happened when it released. It is crazy to me because it reminds me of a sinking ship situation in movies where all the sailors on board are hauling ass to stop the inflow of water in efforts to salvage as much as possible and mitigate the damages. It's a mad scramble reflective of the crew's desire to save what they value the most, their ship. So that to see Highguard's devs opt for the silent approach is quite literally the exact same thing as abandoning ship, which was a costly mistake. You can even tell from looking at the game's developers direct that the game was all over the place. It's not sure what it wants to be, and after playing the game for myself, it becomes more than apparent. It wants to be too much and ends up offering too little instead. A mixed bag begets mixed reactions. Now, imagine only having one game mode crammed with opposing mechanics set to endlessly loop. Riveting. Now, I do think that there is value here, but it would require some massive refining, which at first would only be possible with receptive, well-intentioned, and genuine devs that want to please their fans by making the best game possible, by embracing all forms of feedback. While Highguard isn't exactly Concord 2, it is a perfect juxtaposition of what failure is. It didn't fail for any one particular reason like a memeish comparison to Concord. It failed because it was overblown, over-ambitious, and painfully generic. Not bad, not great, just spectacularly mid, like Diet Sprite and white bread. No matter which side of the fence gamers fall on, there is no denying that numbers don't lie. If Highguard were the most impressive and amazing shooter to come out in recent memory, no doubt it would have been received that way, and the numbers would have reflected that. But choosing to go dark and pretend like everything is fine will not help shift the public sentiment. Covering your eyes and burying your head in the sand did not pan out for the better. Deliberately choosing to push your game in front of people who will tell you what you want to hear versus what you needed to hear was a gross mistake. Not having public testing or even a closed beta was a massive oversight, and not pushing back on alleged forced spot at the biggest gaming event of the year in the form of the Game Awards was a mistake. Choosing to stand down instead of directly engaging the community and defending your game was not a good choice. I think when it all comes down to it, the reality is that much of what occurred surrounding Highguard could have been totally avoided, resulting in a much different set of circumstances for the game. By all accounts, Highguard should have come out, maybe even have been shadow dropped, and just have a normal release, and no doubt it would have fared much better. It will always be a risk to bring a live service game to market. It is a tired genre that has already been mastered, so to speak. So if you want to make a mark in that particular space, you have to be more than just average, and that is not debatable. Between Uncle Jeff, the critics, the devs, genre fatigue, and more, the whole situation was just messy. Highguard wasn't really doomed to fail, but it was doomed to be mediocre. Hopefully one day devs will finally understand that first impressions matter every single time. Oh, and by the way, they changed the description on the Steam game page, removing the part about them being the creators of Apex and Titanfall. And they still have the comment section on their YouTube channel where they showcase the game at launch turned off. So that should tell you all you need to know about the kind of people behind Highguard. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit subscribe and share the video, and share your thoughts amongst each other in the comments below. Do you think Highguard is high slop? Or is it one of the greatest games that has ever been made when it comes to live service? Or is it one of the greatest games released for this year so far? Share your thoughts below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.